No. I've been faking it this whole time. Hello, Internet. I'm Joe.
I'm Eric, and you're listening to Just Cool Enough. But apparently, because 4th of July weekend is in 3 weeks or some bullshit, we can't do a show because of corporate culture or something. I don't fucking understand this
This show
horseshit.
is very. This show.
When you
see,
don't have a job, every day is Saturday.
See, we were talking in the pre-show about how I'm from the corporate world now, so when it's 4th of July and you get like a Friday off. By the way, 4th of July is Independence Day here in America. If you didn't know that, to all of our European listeners, to all the fancy European listeners out there. So when you get a Friday off, you end up taking, there's always a Thursday or maybe a Wednesday, Thursday you take off too. Just trying to kind of round out the week because in Germany, I mean, they get like 15 weeks of vacation. It's like nuts. Here in America, we're just like working our ass off, and for some reason, they're still more efficient than we are.
Yeah, well, have you seen
Not
the
across the
state
board.
of
Anyway, Ike's not here today because
economy? Jeez, they're in the tank. Fucking euros and bullshit.
I hope they're. Have you been paying
Seriously.
attention to the World Cup at all?
No, but we need to talk about Angela Merkel's foreign policy for a minute. No, I wanted to. I kind of wanted to because America won the first game, and I was gonna watch the second game, which was last Sunday, and they said it was gonna be on at 6, so I turned into ESPN at 6, and the game they were showing highlights from the game, which was I was like, what? How is it over? It wasn't supposed to start. Like, did they mean 6 Eastern or something? Because it said. Did they change it?
Well,
do they change it?
Yes, yeah, they changed it. No, they pre-record them for the Americans that don't want to watch it during their lunch.
No, but I checked. I checked on Google. Like, I googled World Cup, and they have a widget now on the when you just Google World Cup, it shows when the games were, and it said it was going to be at 6, but it wasn't. And the same, like, tomorrow, 9 a.m. on ESPN, it says U.S. versus Germany, and I saw that that's what it says on my cable box says that. But then if I'm like up at 9 a.m. and tune in, they're probably going to be showing fucking highlights from the game that already happened. Is that when the game is scheduled to end? I guess because that's what it seemed like. Because I was going to watch it. Fucking, I don't ever watch soccer, but I figured, fuck it, I'm not doing nothing.
Just watch the World Cup. No,
yeah.
Tomorrow's actually a really big game for Germany and the U.S. because if we have a draw, both teams get 0 points or the same amount of points. If we tie, U.S. and Germany both advance to the next round into the second stage.
Because that makes a lot of sense for playoffs where everybody can win. Where nobody loses. That's a great. No, fuck. Why aren't there sudden death bullshit? Like, why isn't that a thing? The World Cup winner is all the teams. Nobody lost.
All the favorites are being knocked out. Like it's been pretty crazy. I'm actually surprised with how many people are paying attention to the World Cup this year. Ike's here. Look at that. Lazy ass decides to show up for the show.
He's not quite here yet. His camera hasn't loaded, and then he's gonna show up. He's gonna have like half a shirt on. He's gonna be messing with his microphone.
And then he's gonna play video games the whole rest of the show.
And then once he's all settled, he's gonna stare into the camera for like 5 minutes without saying anything.
Right.
See, I told you. Fucking World Cup. Fucking, we'll talk to him later. Shit. I was watching like I haven't paid attention, but I was watching Real Sports last night, and apparently like. Fucking soccer's like just a den of fucking bribery and fixed games. Like it's this huge fucking market where they're just doing it like all the time. Like the either like they say like they interviewed this guy. He's like, we want at least 6 people on a team bribed, or the ref, because when the ref shows up, that's like the ref can just like throw people out of the game for no reason and shit like that.
And it's totally happened. FIFA's a very corrupt organization.
Yeah, and well, it's not. It's like outsiders. It's not FIFA themselves. I mean, FIFA is bullshit, anyways, because they did. Vice did a thing about how like
did they?
They did a thing about how none of the money in that Brazil is going to make, like, none of that money at the World Cup goes to anywhere in Brazil, and Brazil's built giant permanent stadiums in the middle of fucking nowhere, so that, and all that money goes to FIFA, and I forget who, if it was them or if it no, it was John Oliver did a big thing about them and how they they passed the law in Brazil that said you can't serve beer because people get drunk and fucking slaughter each other at the fucking games. But instead, FIFA was like, no, we're not. You have to serve beer. We don't care if people die. Basically, they literally said that. They're like, accidents will happen. Football.
It's actually pretty tragic, and I don't know why I'm laughing. Like all the Brazilian people that were protesting the game, they're like, "We don't want to see." I don't know how to do a Brazilian accent. How do you do a Brazilian accent?
No, it's just Portuguese.
Well, okay, I don't know how Portuguese accent. I could do Spanish, but anyway, they're like, "Yeah, we don't want to see any of those FIFA people over here. They're gonna make a bunch of gerbs, and then they're gonna take all their gerbs away and leave a bunch of litter around."
Yeah. No,
and
it's not that.
It's when the World Cup starts.
The government's going to heavily tax the population, use all the money they could be using to, I don't know, fix schools or give to the people, or the giant favelas that are just humongous, colorful, granted colorful and beautiful slums, but still fucking slums. But no, they're going to spend billions of dollars building I think Brazil one of the stadiums they built for the World Cup is only going to have 4 games played into it. They built a permanent stadium for 4.
I like John Oliver's statement. They're giant bird toilets. That's what they've built. Giant, expensive bird toilets. And there was even an interview with a woman.
Let's rank.
There was a woman who lives literally across the street from one of these huge stadiums, and there was an interview done with her. She said, "Yeah, they built this huge stadium, and they're having the games there, and it's right. I can see the stadium. It's right there." And yet the tickets are too expensive for me to go.
Yeah.
Well, that happens all the time. But what I'm saying is, as far as slums go in the world, I mean, like Eric, you said that Brazil has some colorful slums.
Yeah, they're colorful.
Where do you? If you're gonna have a World Cup I guess Brazil's not a third world nation. I'm about to get really offensive here. If you're gonna have a World Cup in a different nation other than the U.S., I mean, like, there's worse places to have it, like, I don't know, like Qatar,
yeah,
like places like that.
The fucking Summer Olympics in Qatar, and that's the weirdest fucking thing. Like, the Summer Olympics are gonna be in, like, 2020 are gonna be in Qatar, which is the devil's armpit. It's literally like the coldest it gets is 130 degrees Fahrenheit is the coldest, and they're just gonna be fucking playing Summer Olympic sports there, and also, all of their stadiums and roads and shit that they have to build are being built by slave labor. That's what it's...
And in Qatar, it's nuts, because ladies can't go out in the streets because they have to wear burqas, and the men get to rape their ladies all day long. Not say, like, it's a fucking madhouse. How
are
the Olympics going... Guitar. I wish I live in a guitar. No, so like
it's bullshit. They're holding the Summer Olympics on a giant guitar. I don't understand. Guitars aren't even that cool. Why couldn't they?
Well, I vote for drums. The traditional drums are the best for holding the Olympics.
And why not just land? Why any giant instruments? It's fucking the worst.
Maybe a bassoon.
They were talking about all the fixed games on Real Sports with Brian Gumbel, and they talked about how, I forget what country it was. I think it was like Tunisia or something. Like, there was an entire soccer match. I think it was like a World Cup game where it was like, or not the World Cup, or maybe it was, I don't know. But there was a team that was supposedly the team from Tunisia. They weren't. They weren't from Tunisia at all. They were entirely built by people who built a team, said they were the team for Tunisia, and sent them to specifically lose games because they weren't even. They were just some random people.
It's just nuts. But people get so wound up about it. This is what I was going to say. So Brazil's like, all the Brazilians are complaining, oh, World Cup's bad, World Cup's bad. But then as soon as Brazil gets to the next round, all the Brazilians are rejoicing, la-di-da, viva Brazil, I don't know, whatever crazy language they speak in Brazil land.
Portuguese. They speak Portuguese.
Portuguese.
Haven't you seen Fast Five?
No.
The villain
I
in
tried
Fast
to stay away
Five.
from shit.
No, Fast Five is the best of the Fast and Furious movies, and don't let that discourage you because most of them are kind of weird and stupid. But Fast Five's an amazing movie. I fucking love that movie. But
No way.
It is so good because it's not a streetcar racing movie. It's an action heist film. It's so good. The Rock he makes Vin Diesel look like a cancer patient. He's so fucking huge compared to like they stand next to each other. Not only is he like a foot taller than Vin Diesel, he's also like his arms are the size of Vin Diesel's torso. It's awesome.
So anyway, a few weeks back, I said I was going to read a letter that I wrote to myself out on air, and I forgot to read it out on air. So
well, we're out of time. We've been talking about.
Well,
Pikachu.
all right, and thanks for coming, everybody.
I think we forgot to bring up our obligatory World of Warcraft. Now we can go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Don't bring up World of Warcraft. There you go.
Actually, I have that in my letter here. So anyway, I wrote myself a letter 10 years ago when I was graduating high school, and it reads, "Hey Joe, you're doing pretty good today. Blah 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 blah."
Wow, fascinating.
No,
Joe.
hold on. I'm going to screen share it because it's absolutely atrocious.
I wrote for all those audio listeners, they'll really enjoy this.
I'll share it later then. You are feeling pretty good today. You just took a Cisco test and got a 75.5. I sent a picture of you from the '05 prom fashion show.
Is that the Cisco test? Is that to see that thong?
No, it was for dumps like a truck.
I was like, what?
What?
You look... Okay, so anyway, I write on to myself. I sent you a picture from yourself of the '05 prom fashion show. You look good. I cannot lie. LOL. That's in the letter. I hope you spelling is better. I hope my grammar got better. Holy shit. Now that you are 28, I hope you are making like $100,000 a year, or at least you better be driving a sweet ride.
Nope.
Nope.
What you guys?
Forward focused.
Actually, I'll continue reading. How have the ladies been treating you?
Not well. Not well indeed.
Are you still? Do you still have a crush on Jessica?
Unfortunately, yes. It's sad at this point.
Actually, at this point, Jessica has been married, divorced, and has committed adultery. So I'm glad I didn't marry her. Sorry, Jessica, if you're watching. There's a chance. I still have the Mark 8, which was my second car. I think Mike Gerard's dad is going to buy it for like $4,000. You are thinking about buying a 2000 Ford Focus for around $5,000. Eric, thanks for mentioning the Focus, which I ended up buying. Here is the specs of. No, it's not. Here are the specs of the laptop you're going to buy. It's a $1,200 laptop with a 60 gig hard drive, 5,400 RPM hard drive. It's a gig of RAM, which was nice for a laptop back then. It was an AMD Athlon 64 3000 with 128 megabytes of ATI Mobility Radeon power, Radeon 9700. So, and also
Man,
I say
you could play Quake 3 at such a high frame rate, it's ridiculous.
I was able to play the hell out of Vanilla WoW.
Yeah, you could be playing Quake 3 at like 640 by a 420, just like the highest resolutions possible.
I could. That thing could kill Quake 3. That thing was meant for Counter-Strike Source, or maybe just Counter-Strike, maybe not even Source.
No, that's Source time.
No, okay. So yeah, I was happy for myself. That's the whole letter right there. Yours truly, Joe Cariotti. Write another letter in 10 years. Make sure to add a pic of yourself. I didn't put anything in this letter about health, and my 10-year later self reflects that heavily. I missed the mark on the pay per year, but I do really like the cars that I have, so that's pretty badass. The ladies have been treating me well. In fact, the lady has made dinner for me today, which I find amazing that she still likes me enough to make me dinner and and sleep in the same bed as
No,
I do.
I saw Oz. She put ground up glass inside your food, just ground up enough so that you can't tell, but it's slowly eating away at your stomach lining.
That actually explains. Maybe that explains the heart problems, because my heart's broken now. Thanks, Eric. You broke my heart. Yeah. Anyway, it was kind of cool. I remember why I put the laptop stats in there because my high school made me write this letter. Made me write this letter to myself, and I put the laptop stats in there because I was like, I don't feel like talking about anything else. So if I just put the specs of my laptop, that would get me to the point that I wrote enough characters to ace the assignment, and awesome. So
And
10 years
kind
later,
of corner cutting that got you that high-paying job you have today.
That $100,000, or at least that sweet car you're driving.
yeah. How are the ladies treating you? So, what would your 10-year-old self say about you? Because I think.
Wait, 10-year-old version of me, or 10 year me
No,
from
no,
10 years
10
ago?
years ago. You from 10
Yeah.
years ago. What would that person say about you?
Fucking that. I would be 19. That was when I realized that I wasn't getting fat, that I'd already gotten fat without realizing it. I was by this point I was I just finished like my car my Fiero, my Pontiac Fiero, had finally died to the point where it couldn't be repaired anymore, and I had to get a ride to community college with my mom in the morning, and couldn't get it home until she got home from work. So I basically was just stuck at community college for like all day until like 5 o'clock when she got
What
home.
did you just hang out with all the other community college lifers?
No, I sat next to the theater, which is where most of my classes were anyways, and I read video game magazines by myself to pass the time.
You were reading Game Informer and stuff?
Yeah, Game Informer mostly, but also I just buy when I would read it like cover to cover because I had nothing else to do. Like I didn't have a
like making friends and stuff, that kind of
Oh
stuff.
no, ugh, fuck that. Like talking to people, ugh, gross.
I'm
so
glad
yeah,
you've gotten.
I would be I at that point I was just about to, if not already started working for WoW Radio. No, I think that was still a couple of years in the making. So I was taking classes, like taking acting classes, like the beginner acting classes at my community college because they didn't offer anything else, and some general ed, which I was failing because I didn't fucking want to do any of the homework, and just thinking like I'm just gonna move out to Los Angeles and be an actor. So I'd actually probably be fucking proud of myself because I lost a bunch of weight. I live in Los Angeles. I'm kind of pursuing acting, sort of, and by this point, I've seen a real life boob. So,
Right. Good job. High five, man. Set the bar low, and then you can exceed it easily. Very nice.
no, that was a high bar for me. Like I was like, I'm never getting out of this small town. I'm never gonna see a boob. I mean, I've only seen the one, so it was and it was a quick glance, but I saw it. I know I'm pretty sure I saw it. I don't know, maybe it was a dream, but I feel like in my head I saw it. I don't know if that's one of those things where like I wanted to see one so bad that I've imagined it like a beautiful mind style of thing.
It was like a very vivid dream.
Yeah, like
you remember it really well.
Yeah, like I saw a boob in the way that Paul Bettany was Russell Crowe's friend throughout the entirety of that movie until you realized he was all made up. So.
Ike, what would yourself from 10 years ago say about your current state of mind and living situation?
I think I would be like, damn, you got fat. Because even my girlfriend yesterday was like trying to picture me on Facebook. She's like, you were so skinny back then. I'm like, is that when I lived in the last apartment? She's like, no, that's when we met like 6 or 8 years ago. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, I got pretty big. And I didn't have grad school in my mind at that point, so I wasn't sure that I was going to be a teacher. But I was at this point. Let's see, between my junior and senior year of college, and thinking to myself that I was going to work for summer camp. I think that sounds about right.
Yeah, I think I was at this point. I was almost a year away from dropping out of college the first time. Working at a movie theater for 2.5 months, and then quitting it and getting even fatter.
What advice, if you can go back in time and talk to the person 10 years ago, what would you give them? Like, cause like, oh my gosh,
I would
like
tell
the span of 10 years of what has happened in my life.
Well, let's narrow it down. You have
crazy.
Let's say that you could only give one piece of important advice. What would it be?
One piece of important advice.
Because I feel like I could go back and be like, here's all the shit that's going to happen. It would take me an hour to lay it all out, and then I'd change my life.
One
but
thing.
If you only do one thing.
Okay,
I would honestly, like, the thing that I regretted the most about my tenure as a fat piece of shit never leaving my house was that I didn't pursue any acting stuff. Like, I realized, like, before I moved, like, a couple of years before I moved out to Los Angeles, that they have this community theater not far from where I lived that I thought, like, I always kind of thought maybe I'll go on an audition, but I was like, oh, it's been so long since I acted, and I'm fat and ugly now, so who knows? But if I would have just, like, out of high school, you know, started doing theater, musical theater and stuff, and you know, I could have. I felt like I lost something. Like, when I moved out to Los Angeles, I don't know how great of an actor I ever was, but I certainly was less of an actor because I'd spent 10 years not acting.
But you do look a lot more presentable. That goes a long way.
But
I came out of high school skinny and ready, so it would be to go to the Magic Circle Theater in downtown Roseville and start auditioning for stuff because they put on plays all the time. There's an audition every month for a different show, sometimes musicals, and just start doing that shit. So just to exercise that muscle because that muscle atrophied over 10 years, and now I'm trying to get back into it.
What about you, Joe? What would be your one piece of advice for yourself 10 years ago?
My 10-year-old, the easy advice would be like, hey, you don't have to be as cool as you think you have to be. Yeah, Propecia. Yeah, actually, that might have been helpful. I think I would say something like, you don't have to be as cool as you think you have to be to fuck women. The bar is a lot lower than you think. But that's probably that's bad advice. It really is, Eric.
Hold on.
Write this down. You don't even have to be cool to have sex. Even the nerds do it.
Don't have to be cool to have sex.
All right, and then
Throw another one at me.
Okay, all right. Eric is me 10 years ago. Yeah. No, the other thing is I never really taught myself how to be financially responsible until Sarah taught me how to do that, right? So I owe a lot to her, literally, figuratively, right? So like I would be like, hey, the lessons you are currently learning about how you view money, they're probably wrong. You should probably look into this more because I went through 3 years of community college and ended up with a shit ton of debt that I didn't even know I had because of student loans and things like that.
Slow down. So I don't have to be cool to have sex with ladies, and I should learn what money is.
Yes.
This is all great advice. I can't believe this is the first time I'm hearing this shit. Fuck.
Learn what money is and dance. Remember.
Like nobody's watching.
Yeah, like no one's watching.
I'm putting it down, I guess. I don't know if I agree with it, but fuck it. Like, how the fuck do I know? Maybe I'm wrong.
What's the rest of that song? Remember the hours of your youth. I don't remember what that's. Do you know what I'm talking about, Ike?
Yes, I do.
I cannot remember the name of that song, but anyway. I don't know. What's your advice that you would give to prior Ike?
Well, let's see. Also, at this point, 10 years ago, I would have been 1 semester into being an RA, which also means that the year coming up would be the year that I met my second long-term girlfriend. My first one cheated on me after 4 years at that point. So I was spent the second half of my junior year like, I gotta find a girl, and I couldn't find one. I was like, I'm going crazy without finding one. And so I did find one the next year. That next relationship lasted for 4 years, and she also cheated on me at the end of that. So I think I would tell myself, most of them are cheating whores, and you shouldn't take them back every time they cheat on you because it will never work out for you.
Now, can I clarify? When you say most of them, you mean most of your ex-girlfriends and not women in general. Am I correct?
Well, I'm gonna use them as stand-ins for everyone.
Yeah.
Most women are cheating whores.
You're right. I'll give you that. You had two bad experiences with women, so you should put on your fedora, hate all women, and say "milady" a lot.
Correct.
And also,
I don't know why you're not writing this down, Eric. This is more
on Reddit. Post on Reddit much more.
Yeah.
Sorry, both times I took it back, got myself again, so I figured just skip that part. They're gonna cheat.
All right. A girlfriend cheated on you once.
Twice.
Twice.
No, two girls cheated on him both times. That's
okay.
What
Two girlfriends both cheated on him. So all women are terrible. Hashtag not all men. Okay, I get it.
All right. Wait. And then also write invent Twitter.
Okay.
There's a company called hold on. What are some of the big companies that came out in the last 10 years?
Twitter, Instagram, fucking Oculus Rift sold for $1 billion.
Get on Facebook early. Get on Facebook.
I tried. That was about the time Facebook was around, but I wasn't. At the time I couldn't get in because Sierra College.
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about Facebook. I'm talking about like get a job at Facebook early.
No, I'm
just
just
saying.
Like,
Zuckerberg.
I remember I was like 19, and my friend Ricky was like, "Oh, have you seen this Facebook thing? It's for college kids." And our friend Ricardo, who was often in the Air Force Academy prep school and stuff like that, to become an Air Force officer, was on it. And he's like, "Yeah, he was like this skinny runner who like fucking broke his arm 17 times in a year or something, and then he like got all fucking jacked." And I was like, oh, sweet, I'll sign up for this Facebook thing. But my college didn't give out email addresses, so I couldn't sign up because you needed a college email address.
You needed a university, not a shitty community college.
No, any college would work. It just, at the time, there wasn't a Sierra College email address that they gave all the students. I mean, eventually they did. After the second time I dropped out and got back in, they finally started to do that. But then Facebook was for everyone.
Dear Joe, MySpace is not that cool, and it's not going to matter in 10 years. Please stop wasting your time.
People asking me like, why don't you have MySpace? Or you should get a Facebook, right? When it came out, they're like, yeah, anybody can get a user. I don't have enough friends that would necessitate a Facebook. And then people are like, same thing with cell phones. I'm like, I don't have enough friends that I would be calling or texting to need a cell phone.
I thought that too until like 4 years ago. I was like, I don't need a fucking smartphone. I don't go anywhere. But then like I got one and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And then it was like 6 months later, we came out to Los Angeles to look at neighborhoods and decide where we wanted to live. And it was like, oh, how do we get to this place? Fucking GPS. How am I gonna check my email? It's like I didn't bring a laptop, but I had my phone. I'm like, oh my god, I didn't realize that this is the thing that was missing from my life.
That's what I've been trying to convince my girlfriend. I'm like, you should get a smartphone. She's like, I don't need one. And then we'll be out, and she's like, hey, can you find me directions? Or, hey, can you look this thing up? I'm like, why don't you get your own? She's like, but I don't need to because I have you. I'm like, but it's my data plan you're using. My data plan.
That's how like Sarah has an Android phone from like 5 years ago. It's not an exaggeration. It's running like Android 2.1 and it's or 2.3 or something. And we're on Android 4.4.4 now. It's been a couple versions. But so like my tablet is a very useful device and I can do lots of cool things on it. And Sarah likes to use my tablet over her phone. Why? I'm like, babe, you could buy like an iPhone or something and just you can keep your same Ting data plan and just have a nice phone so when you don't always say, okay, no, you could have my tablet. No, that's fine. But it's my tablet, damn it! I want to play Clash of Clans. I don't have time. I don't have time to get directions so I can drive where we need to go. I need to check my clan. That game has ruined my life, by the way. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh man, time to shave and time to shower, and play some Clash of Clans. And I'm sitting there on the toilet till my legs are numb. I'm like, why are my legs numb?
That's what got me with Simpsons Tapped Out, because I hate those fucking games, but I love The Simpsons, so I played it for a while. But then when I realized, I was like, oh, I should probably, if I wake up at like, if I set all this stuff for like this time, and then like I'll wake up at like 5, tap, and then go back to bed. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to immediately uninstall this from the 2 devices I have it on currently and never play it again. And I did. I was like, fuck that. When you're debating getting up in the middle of the night so that you could make sure that Moe's Tavern gets tapped and you're not wasting time, and fuck that game.
I've never woken up on purpose to check the game, but I have like gotten up and like, man, I'm thirsty. I'm gonna take a piss. Drink some water, take a piss. I'm like, and while I'm up, maybe I should take my hand and rub it on this tablet screen because I'm checking my Clash of Clans.
You're like, I feel like shit. I didn't get any sleep. I didn't want to go back to bed. But since I'm up, iPad, tap, 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 tap.
Maybe I subliminally, my body's like, you have to go pee and check your Clash of Clans. You have to go pee, check your Clash of Clans.
So that's when you have to get the challenging game like Words with Friends, because I when somebody would play that at like 6 in the morning, it would wake me up because I left the sound on my iPhone. I reach over, I'm like, sure, I'll play it, and then you slide the bar and you're like, okay, what letters do I have? And like you're like trying to look at the screen, but it's really bright, and then you have to like, okay, I have to put a word together. I can come up with a word, and then you come up with like a 2-letter word. And then you're like, what the fuck? I could have used all of my tiles, but I was too sleepy to play.
See,
I should uninstall this game.
If you're setting alarms, you should probably uninstall the game. If you're setting alarms to wake up just specifically to check the game. Wait. I've done that before, though. I forget what game it was. It might have been like Farmville or something.
I would go one step even worse. I once, not this Steam sale, but like last summer, I think, I considered waking up, like setting an alarm and waking up at like 5 a.m. just so I could vote, because the vote happens at like it's like 2 a.m. to fucking like a 10 a.m. Or whatever, however long the fucking vote is, and it's it's like I don't want to stay up to 2 a.m. but I'll wake up in the middle of. I was like, no, fuck that, like fuck that bullshit. I'll just not vote. I'll get enough cards. I'll get the fucking cards.
That actually reminds me. I wanted to ask you, have you bought anything on during the Steam sale this year?
Steam
summer sale.
I did.
What did you buy, Eric?
I got the what was it? The not expansion pack, whatever the fuck they call these things. DLC pack thing for Bioshock. It's not DLC. What they call them, like subscription thing, whatever.
Yeah.
Season pass.
Season pass. That's the bullshit term that doesn't mean anything. I got the season pass for Bioshock Infinite because it was $10, and I was like, and I hadn't played the 2 episodes yet, and I kind of wanted to, but I was gonna wait for a Steam sale. And hey, look what they fucking did, and I played those. I got Castle Crashers because I have it on my 360, but I don't ever intend to turn my 360 back on that I know of, and it's certainly not just to play fucking Castle Crashers, despite how much that game is amazing. Then I got State of Decay, which again is that's also on the 360. I didn't get it there, but it was super cheap and it looked interesting, and I've been wanting it for a while. And then Rogue Legacy, because that's also you can't play Spelunky forever.
Ike, what have you gotten?
I haven't bought anything directly from the sale itself. I sold a bunch. I leveled up my TF2 Fortress all the way, so I had a whole bunch of cards. So I sold all the cards for TF2, so I could then buy all the summer sale cards, so I could make a pack of summer sale cards.
Yeah, I that's what I like. Whenever I got a dupe, I'll sell it, and then I completed the summer pack. Like I have never once spent real money on community items, and I never intend to. I'll sell like the duplicates and hold on to like the chain. Like I had 64 cents forever, and then like I bought the cards I needed when I was like, I only need like 3 more with that money, and then sold the duplicates and stuff. But I'm not. I can't imagine spending real money on fake cards that you can't even play, that get you a badge that say, hey, you collected all these cards that has no in-game value.
Like,
I can't.
there's like, what is the benefit to that? At least if you put money into Clash of Clans or one of those free games, you get some enjoyment out of it. This is just like,
I put real money. I put real money towards the cards myself.
why? What do
It was because I had extra change left over. It's like you
that's
have
what
to
I
put
said.
like $5 on, so it's real money that I put on there. It's not for me selling my cards. It's because I extraneous like, oh, now I have 99 cents left over, and I can buy these cards for 7 cents a piece. I might as well.
Never got into the
You
card.
can use that money towards buying video games. Do you know that?
Oh,
like.
Oh,
So I don't. I play TF2 and World of Warcraft and rarely.
Really talking to a microphone that works. Yeah, we understand that.
Yeah, that's exactly. I was trying to learn from Joe.
Does that happen to me too? Anyway,
prior episodes.
So
my
Joe,
yes.
what'd you buy on Steam?
I bought Shogun 2 Total War. I've never gotten a Total War game before, and
They are awesome, aren't they?
yeah, they really are. I had no idea that I would like it. It's like Civilization, but you get to play the battles out. What more? There's not much of a description past that. You'll know if you like it. And then I also got a game called Forced, and I haven't played it yet. But I've been looking for like a co-op gaming experience, so when people come over, we do a little LAN party action. We could all kind of be in the same room and yell and scream at each other and say, hey, do this, equip Elixir the Mongoose, do all that kind of fun things.
So you paid money for is this a fucking Dota clone or something? I don't know. I'm just looking at
the game Force? No, it's a top-down kind of game that was co-op.
Yeah,
and
4-player local. I just like do not tell me you paid for a MOBA. Do not tell me. And it's like, oh no, it's not a MOBA. It's just a top-down game. But I just assume
it's like
every game that's top-down is a fucking MOBA these days because they all are.
Yeah, it's like a top-down RPG, arcade-style RPG where you get like upgrades and do cool stuff. And it's like a kind of maybe even.
I'll allow it.
Oh, okay, good. All right. Now that I have your validation, I feel comfortable with my choice.
I mean, it's no Rogue Legacy, but I mean, if you wanted 4-player local multiplayer co-op, I mean, you could have always bought Castle Crashers for like $1, but
I have
no.
Castle Crashers.
Yeah.
Oh, I had it. You know what? I don't because it was on my Xbox.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I'll buy it.
You can buy it for $3.74 right now on Steam.
Fine, I'll buy it.
Castle Crashers only seems like a good
Or
game
actually-
if you can play with other people.
If you pay what is
I
it?
want the 4-pack.
You can buy either the 4-pack or you can for $12 you can buy Castle Crashers and Battle Block Theater. Both are pretty good.
Yeah, but I want to play it on. I'm sure. I thought I had this game. I really did. But so if I buy the 4-pack, that's the only way I buy these games anymore because otherwise all my friends, they're just like they're not up on it, so they don't get the deal, and I just you can just give me $3 some other day, I end up making a profit. I'm like, yeah, give me $5 worth of burritos, we'll be good.
I played the Xbox version, but is the PC version like can you play with other people over the net or
Castle Crashers? I don't believe it's online multiplayer. Let me check. No, online co-op. That's what it says. Yeah, because you can play online co-op on the Xbox. So yeah, you can play online co-op. We could all play Castle Crashers, guys.
Do you want to do this after the show? Do you guys got things to do today?
Well, we have the other show because we have a guest on.
Oh yeah, we have Your Fitness Pals coming up.
We should.
That's great.
Yeah, but we should do that. Maybe this weekend we can play some Castle Crashers. Maybe stream it on Twitch and finally do that fucking commentary for heavy metal.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I'm
gosh!
wait for that one.
I did watch through Heavy Metal, Eric. What? Why?
Yeah,
why did
why?
you do this? Okay, we're gonna have to do a commentary. This is gonna be just cool enough.
Because
the weekend.
that movie is my dad really likes that movie, and I remember watching it when I was like 10 years old, and I realized the reason why I fucking hate that movie is because my parents didn't give a shit if I watched heavy metal when I was 10 years old, so I wasn't some super repressed family. So the idea of just weird cartoon titties and robots doing cocaine and weird power fantasies where John Candy is this nerd becomes a strong black man who rescues a woman, and
the
and then,
people will
but
watch
now
it.
it's stupid.
Yes,
And
let's not give it all away.
It's so bad and good.
Oh, it's just that it doesn't even scratch the surface. This
no,
movie
it does not.
It's so fucking stupid and bad.
It is. It's just like a train. Well, anyway, we're gonna do a commentary track. It's gonna be done this weekend, and it's gonna be amazing. And we should play some Castle Crashers. Do you have the game on the PC? Would you be able to play?
I don't have it, but I can see if I can.
He only has World of Warcraft and Team Fortress 2. He can't come.
I forgot about that. Shit. Okay. I'll give you one of the 4-pack things that I buy.
And then next time I see you, I'll buy you like $5 worth of tacos.
Burritos. Get it right, damn it. Shit.
I got a bag of 12 really nice burritos.
I'm gonna write a letter to myself in the next 10 years.
Make sure I gave you your $5 worth of burritos. He might try to give you tacos. If he did, tell him he owes you $5 worth of burritos.
That would get like most of a Chipotle burrito.
Yeah.
I don't want any of that Taco Bell shit. It's disgusting. But Chipotle, now that's something I can sink my teeth into.
No, I don't mind I haven't had a Taco Bell burrito in a long time, so I can't speak to its quality. But yeah,
like seriously, one day I was just like, I woke up, I'm like, man, I had a good sleep. I'm over Taco Bell. Like that was like the first thing that went through my head. Like, why? I don't feel like Taco Bell at all for some reason. And I'm like, maybe tomorrow I will.
I barely have fast food. Like in the past 6 years, I've had a handful of fast food experiences. Especially since I moved out here because there's so many choices. But when I was doing jury duty this week, there wasn't a lot of places to eat. So 2 days in a row, I had Subway for lunch. And I realized, I never put any of the bullshit on my sub. But the second day, I realized the reason why you do that is it's the same fucking price, whether or not you put that shit on there. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, load that shit on there.
Paying for it, you might as well take it.
I'm paying $5 for this goddamn 6-inch Black Forest ham sub. I might as well throw some spinach on it.
Disgusting, slimy Black Forest, disgusting.
And their ham is turkey-based, by the way. I'm just throwing.
Yeah. I didn't give a shit. I barely tasted the fucking ham. I normally get the meatball sub, but I was like, I had that yesterday, so I'm not going to go for it again. So this is why I like whatever's happening with Ike, because it mutes him and he doesn't interrupt me, which is the most important part. But yeah, so I went to Subway twice in a row, but thankfully the last day, yesterday, I went to a food truck. There's a nice food truck. There were always food trucks. I didn't go to them because I like to. I don't know why. I like to know exactly what I'm going to order before I even arrive at the place. I hate showing up and having to decide and oh, what if they don't take credit cards? What am I gonna do? Oh god! I get so fucking in my head about it, and
you get
I get little mini panic attacks.
You psych yourself out about ordering. You're like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
I gotta. Do I want a side? I don't want a side. What if he asks me for beans?
I have to know exactly what I fucking want. I have to go in there and say it. When it's my turn, I have to say, bam, 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 this is what I want. And if I, hesitate, the guy's going to say, hey, look at this guy. This dumbass doesn't know what he wants. And then some guy's going to pants me. And then all of the girls I like from junior high are going to laugh at my tiny penis. And it's just going to be the worst.
Your crippling social anxiety gives me so much entertainment, Eric, that I hope it makes you comfortable, because it's so entertaining to listen to what goes through your head. I love it. Really, yeah. I mean,
I understand that, because one night after a sketch show, people in my sketch team were literally flabbergasted. That's the only word I can think of, that I was not in therapy. They were like, "You're not in therapy?" I was like, "No. Why would I be in therapy?" They're like, I don't understand why you're not in therapy. I was like, why would I do that? They're like, gee, you should definitely be in therapy. I was like, probably, but I don't have health insurance.
You don't need to be in therapy, dude. Because what is he gonna say?
Yeah, that's always my argument. It's like therapy is great for some people, but what's a therapist gonna tell me? You're not as ugly as you think you are. You're not as fat as you think you are, and you should probably leave the house more. I know that. I need to pay somebody to tell me that that this is all in my head. I know that I'm fucked up. He's not gonna help me because I'm not gonna listen to him, because I'm gonna think, what's he really think about me?
I know. You can't go to a therapist. That would just psych you out even more. You can't even order food out of a truck. How are you going to go to a fucking therapist and talk about shit?
I like rehearse. Like I was standing, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get the pulled pork sandwich. I see the picture. It says pulled pork sandwich. I don't see it on that fucking clipboard. Oh, but there's a picture of it here, so they definitely have it. So I'm just gonna say, what am I say? Pulled pork sandwich, half order, garlic parmesan fries. That's what I'm gonna say. That's what I'm gonna say. Oh, there's a Diet Coke. Fuck. I'm gonna say then the Diet Coke.
Sir,
I'm just
what's your order, sir? Sir,
pulled pork sandwich, half an order of garlic fries, and this Diet Coke. Here's my card.
you'll shoot your eye out.
Yeah, I'm basically, I'm like anxious, but also my mommy says to this, and I have this many monies.
Oh my gosh, dude!
Just pin a note to my chest saying this is what my son wants with the dollars.
My son would like a sandwich. Please, if you have pop, tell him you ran out because he needs more water. And then there's like a $5 bill with a smiley face
and
on it.
Yeah, I just hand him money like this.
Just make a noise.
Yeah. Thanks, mister. Can you put it in my backpack?
Oh man, on the other side of that today, okay, so what the total opposite of what you're saying right now, about how I'm not socially awkward or anything, because I am. I went to the store before the show, and I watched an old man. This is a sad story. I watched an old man pee his pants next to the Pillsbury dough aisle, and he sat there with a cane, staring out into the abyss of the store, and just
going in his head, going, oh no,
no, and he was holding his cane like this, right? And I could see the piss streaming down both of his legs, and the plume of piss is getting wider and wider. I'm like, he has to stop sometime soon. That's a lot of pee, and it covered the whole front of his pants. And I looked, I'm like, well, where's his adult? Because he was so old, he had a cane. He has to be there with somebody, and he's sitting there like trying to spew something out of his mouth, like staring out into space.
Maybe he saw death.
No,
or maybe he saw death coming for him.
Here's the cynic in me. The cynic in me is like, I'm gonna fucking show these people. They fucking ignore Howard all these years. They're gonna remember this. And then he gets there and he's like, yeah, this is the perfect place. And then he grips his cane, hunches over a little more than he would normally, and goes, with his head he's thinking, yeah, fuck this people, fuck them, clean up my piss. Oh yeah,
clean up on aisle 12.
I'm a helpless old man. You gotta clean my piss, those dirty little fuckers.
No, he was a sad old man. He was a sad old man.
That's what he wants you to think. I'll show you true sadness. I took the train home from jury duty, and first day I took the train.
Hold on. You're gonna try to top my old sad man pissing himself in a store?
I don't know about top it, but if you want true sadness, there's on the corner of just like 2 or 3 blocks away from the jury duty places where there's or at least the place I was at. There's the train that I took home, and then right on the edge there's this street that doesn't even have a name. It's just a glorified alleyway basically, and it was just this shanty town. It was just a bunch of cardboard boxes and collapsed tents and just homeless people, like a huge just settlement of homeless people, and it was really sad. I was like, oh wow, I've never I know these kinds of things exist, but in my day-to-day life I've never seen them. This is really fucking horrible. It's the middle of downtown. It's right next to a fucking courthouse and a really nice looking McDonald's with a play palace, and here's this shit. And as I was thinking this, fucking the Google Street View car drives through this place. I mean, it was the Google car. It had the big dome with all the cameras, and I was like, this is fucking the weirdest juxtaposition of shit I have ever seen.
All the old people don't know or all the homeless people don't know what's going on, and the Google car's coming by. But Google's gonna just airbrush them out of the. They're gonna Photoshop the shit out of it.
Blur their faces, but not the just intense poverty that you drive by on this alleyway.
So wait, did you get into the frame of the Google car? Are you sitting there with your mouth open, looking at all the homeless?
I was on the light rail train, as it was as it was pulling away, and I was like, "Oh Jesus Christ, that's the weirdest juxtaposition of extreme poverty and extreme wealth I've ever seen."
Out of the way, my robotic car has to clean up the streets, and it just moves over all the homeless.
The car might as well have been wearing a top hat and a monocle, spinning a cane while it was doing it.
just and like it just sprays them down with shit on the. It just has a big sprayer on the back as it goes by, and just poop is just on the homeless people. That is awesome. Like you said, you had a story that could top the old man pissing in the supermarket.
Yeah, because I'm not sure if it's sad. I'm not sure what I would like catalog this under, but I'm at the store this weekend this week, and I bought Can Jam. It's a frisbee game, and as I was getting ready to pay for it, this woman and her like 6 or 7-year-old son go up to the service counter, and the woman's like, "Yeah, we want to put this on layaway." It was like a big remote control boat. She's like, "My son really wants this, but we want to put on layaway because we can't afford to get it right now." And the guy's like, "Well, you have to go over and get in the regular line." So they were actually right after me in line. So I swiped my card, I paid for my shit. I'm getting ready. I could have easily just left, but I'm like, I haven't paid it forward in a while. So I'm going to try it with this. But I kind of stalled first just to see how much this thing was before I threw myself under the bus. So the woman tells the boy, "All right, put the boat up there. You have to give them your money even though it's on layaway, and I'll give them my half the money. And next week when we have the $12, we'll come and finish paying for it." So I'm like, I can spare $12. So I looked to the kid.
God, this is.
And I said, "Hey, I'll tell you what. I will cover the last $12. And then I looked at the mother. I said, "If this is okay with you, I'll cover the last 12." And the woman looks at the son, and he's kind of facing straight ahead still towards the cashier with his head a little bit down. She's like, what do you say? I'll cover it." And he starts to turn. I was like, "But here's the deal. You have to go do something nice for somebody else. I'll cover the 12. And he's like, he looks kind of down again. He goes, "No." And the mother's like, "No, he's going to give you the money. Like, you have to do anything. You just have to do something nice for somebody else. What do you say?" He's like, "No." I look back at the mom. She looks kind of shocked, and I don't know what to do. So I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, I hope you have a great day then." And I packed my shit up and left. But the kid just, I'm like, "Here's free money." And he's like, "No."
See, and here's where I think you're wrong, because I think that kid is a strong capitalist that believes in our economic system and doesn't want handouts from rich white people to go around. He wants to earn that boat because it's going to be much more fun to play with that remote control boat when he can actually afford it. He's going to go home, mow some lawns, do a fucking and get some lemonade stands going, earn that money like a true, pull himself up from his bootstraps, learn a real lesson. If you bought that boat for that kid, he would have been on government handouts the rest of his life. That's a lesson for you.
This argument has already been brought up to me, and I said, you know what? I would totally agree with you if that mother had been like, "I'll put in my half of the money so that you can pay for your boat." And the kid's like, "Okay." So if he really was that kind of kid, he'd be like, "No, Mom, I'll pay for the whole thing. We'll put it on layaway, but thanks for offering to pay for half the boat." But Say's like, "No, fuck it. I'll take your half the money, but fuck this guy. I don't want his free handout."
Because that mom owes him for all the free, unpaid labor he's been doing for his entire life.
For 7 years.
I thought.
He's been mowing lawns. He's been cleaning out his room and the garage. Like, he feels that he is owed half of the payment of this boat. Is that not fair? Isn't man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? I've got some pamphlets. I'm building an underwater sea place for all capitalists. And have you ever read Ayn Rand? It's an eye-opening read. You guys should read it. It's about how rich people are better than everyone else.
I'm actually just finishing up The Fountainhead, and then I'll start on that one.
Okay.
Like I thought the story was gonna take a dark turn. I thought it was gonna be where like the mom was like, "Excuse me, I'm trying to teach my son a lesson about savings and planning." And
this boat's not for fun.
This
boat's for smuggling drugs across the border.
He put those drugs in that watermelon and carried that watermelon right across the border, just like I asked him. He needs to do it 2 more times before he gets the goddamn boat. And you're overstepping your bounds, white guy with weird M&M hair. Oh my gosh! I thought you were gonna get yelled at by
at that point. It's like, do I still try to show the kids that I still pay for it? Like, try to do it because I'm trying to do a good deed, even though I don't expect that he'll follow through for somebody else, or do I just eat my words and walk away and accept the fact that
the cashier, like, what an awkward situation to be. Like, the mom's just like, "Take the money, you idiot." And
yeah,
so
I'm wondering, like,
no.
I'm wondering. I hope the kid didn't get beat when he went home. Like, listen, we're not getting $12 a whole week, and that could have been lunch for you for a week.
That could have been burritos. That could have been 2 Chipotle burritos, maybe. It could have been a burrito and 3/4.
That's almost as much as what I paid for my lunch yesterday at that fucking food truck.
But food truck food is like magical, right? Like every time you eat out of a food truck, it's special. It's like
this was like
angels brought it to
specialty
you
stuff
down.
because
Yeah.
I got the pulled pork sandwich, but they had like Kobe beef like sliders and stuff. Like it was like supposed to be high end stuff, and it was too much food. Like it was like a giant styrofoam container that was full. Like I was like, oh, this is too much food. But I ate it already. I ate the whole thing because I'm fat and stupid and I hate wasting money. So I ate the whole fucking thing and then was immediately like, okay, now back to juror deliberation. Oh, fuck.
You're sitting there rumbling in your stomach. Why did I do that? Did you throw the book at him? You could talk about the trial now that it's over. Throw the book at him.
No, I didn't throw the book at him because we're not in charge of sentencing and we found him not guilty.
This is the case of Ryan Mitchell jaywalking. Like 100 years in prison.
Not in charge of that. We just determined guilt or innocence.
100 years of prison. He must work on the salt mines of Eridor. Sentences up to a fake planet working on.
I started doing that. I started walking around the house, and like when someone would say something, I would be unsubstantiated, stricken from the record. Justice has been served. And I was like,
well, we need to get a gavel for Judge Eric.
Objection. And just.
Did anybody's cell phone go off?
I think somebody's may have like vibrated or something at some point, but nobody.
Did they get shot on sight? Bullet right through the head.
Vibrating underwear they were using.
No, but the best thing after we got jury selection on Friday, we got picked, and then Monday we showed up, and one guy just didn't show up, and they said like if you
camp.
Well, they said if you're sick and
so
can't
the salt mines of Eridor.
The salt mines of Eridor with you.
Well, they said like if you're sick or can't make it, call. It's the simplest thing. We've all got phones. Fucking call. It'll be okay. Didn't call, and so we had to alternate jurors, so one had to sit in for us. But the bailiff was telling us this judge in particular, he put out a bench warrant, which they always do. So if the guy gets pulled over, he gets arrested. But he basically set a court date for the guy to show up to, and said that the bailiff said that the judge gives you two choices: either pay the fines, which is like $2,000, which is due in 30 days, or he will put you on a civil trial, which could be up to 3 weeks long.
What the dude? That dude needs to call.
Yeah. 2 days. Our trial was 2 fucking days long. You know.
Oh, dude,
we got picked on Friday, did all the witnesses Monday, and then Tuesday finished just after lunch. Like, so it was easy as shit. We were home. I was home by 4 o'clock. This is your second
job, though. You have a second job officially. You made like $11 from the state of California.
No, I made $30 plus 34 cents per mile one way, which I don't. It's like 5 miles, so I don't know. But I'm gonna make about $35.
That's like 100% profit from last year. You need to put it into percent so it sounds amazing. 300% profit increase from last year.
I know. I've already see. This is the problem. I've already made $50 this year doing some shitty photoshops for you. So now I'm gonna have to probably file taxes now that I've made like $75 this year. I mean, I'm basically a Rockefeller now.
Because if your state requires that you have health care, you may actually have to pay back for not actually having health care. So you might not actually make money in the end.
How much money do I have to give to Eric to make him have to report taxes? That's exactly.
I think it's $10,000. If you make $10,000 in a year, you have to pay taxes. Anything under that, you don't have to pay.
I'll see. I want to. If I had enough money, if I was rich, I would just fuck with Eric by making him do stupid paperwork like that.
No, I think I made like $3,000 one summer for doing summer camps, but I had to report my taxes, but I made a good chunk of that back.
Yeah, you have to pay. You have to pay into taxes, but at the end of the year, you don't have to file. But if you file, you get that money back if you made under.
You know what?
10,000.
Yeah,
that would be good advice to give to myself 10 years ago. Joe, that year when you were a contract employee, you should save about 30 to 40% of your check because you're going to have to pay all that money back. Nobody told me that. All the business people I know in my life, nobody told me that I'm going to have to pay taxes on this money. I thought I was pre-tax, and I ended up having to pay taxes for years because I was in college. I'd never made that much money before. Oh, it was a mess. That would have been good advice to give myself.
Too late. You already gave yourself the other advice.
I know. Yeah. It's easy to fuck women. That's what my advice was. My regret. 10 years from now, my advice would be give your former self better advice. Don't give them the advice about the women thing, you idiot.
Well, someday WoW Radio will fall apart. You might not know what WoW Radio is, but don't do any other show after that. Nothing good will come from it.
And if your kid sets fire to the living room carpet, go easy on him.
My advice is that we stop doing this bullshit and end this show.
Hooray!
Yay!
So you guys, I'd say plugs, but I don't have one, and nobody else seems to have one that I know of. Okay, fine. What's your plug for this week?
Go figure. The one time. This week I want to plug a band that I know. It's called Grace and the RSO. They're kind of a folky band, local here in Massachusetts and Rhode Island, but they're starting to get a lot of attention. So if you're out there and you want something kind of cool to listen to, something new, check out Grace and the RSO. You can find their Facebook page, but you can also stream them on a few spaces.
Cool.
Yeah,
Joe, you
I don't
got
have
anything?
Either. No, this is watch your Fitness Pals on Just Cool Enough with Ike and Joe.
Cool.
Because we're gonna have special guests soon.
You guys can email us at the show at justcoolenough.com if you want to get your email read out on air, which is entirely possible you could do that, because we would definitely do that. Or you can leave us an iTunes review, all that kind of stuff. And you can also just check out the website, justcoolenough.com, where we do this show and other things.
Thanks to the donations. We've gotten a couple donations, and I just want to say thank you for supporting the show. Even if it is just a $2 donation, we really do appreciate it. Thank you, Christopher. I think that was this week that happened. So thank you very much for the $2 donation.
Except it's we shouldn't say that because I'm pretty sure he's just on the automatic payment and it's so low that he doesn't remember that he's paying us $2 a month, and that if we bring it up, he's gonna go, oh fuck, I better cancel that.
You presume that he continues to keep listening.
Yeah, he could just have forgot about it. Thank you, Christopher, for forgetting about us. Have a couple more of your friends forget about us.
But that's after they also donate.
Anyways, that's the show. You can follow me at Twitter, at Duncor, D-U-N-C-O-R, which is right here on the screen.
You can follow me on Twitter at SpeedyF40, SPEDYF40.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Railvis.
And that's the show for this week. And until next week, have a wonderful weekend and a safe 4th of July holiday because apparently that starts this week, even though it's not holiday. It's a corporate holiday, so we do it 2 weeks in advance. Also, fuck off.
No!
Sorry, you, Joe.
It's 4th of July Eve week. Why would you say that to people? I can't wait to watch heavy metal again and play some Castle Crashers this weekend. All right, that's a wrap. We got a guy showing up, or a girl showing up in 5 minutes, Ike, right?
It's a guy. Yeah.
It's a guy.
He might be sitting there waiting for us right now.
Well, you can turn the show off.
No, we're going to keep doing this and the other show at the same time. It's simulcast.
You can't. You literally can't run 2 Hangouts at one time. So you can stop broadcasting at any point.
No, I like broadcasting. It's
okay,
fun.
fine.
I was singing the Angry Beavers. All right, this is over.